It is July of 2024, and we are thinking about the school year, like the upcoming school year already. And as a principal, I am a former principal. I was a principal for just under or just around 7 years. And I started my journey in March of 2014. And I will say it was a brand new school, brand new elementary school, STEM school, and I was excited to be there. Now, just to jump forward, something I learned, a few things that I've learned as a principal that I felt like was really important to give to families and teachers. That number one thing, and I'm going to give you three things that if you're a principal and you really want to know how to make an impact within the school year, here are these things. First of all, in the state of California, Ohio, and Illinois, state testing scores are being released. They were already released for mathematics, science, and English language arts in California. They were released already in Ohio. They had to be released by June 30th for families. And in Illinois, they have to be released for families and students by August 9th. So that being said, teachers will want to see those scores too. And typically, school districts will have that data right away. So, one of the things that you want to do as a principal is figure out how to query, figure out how to pull the data, grab the data, sort the data, put the data in a spreadsheet. If you have the privilege of having computer scientists, specialists at your school district, and you can pull it and put it in a beautiful dashboard, great. Or maybe you can do that. You want to put that data in so that teachers can see the data. They can see it by their students from the previous year. And the teachers that are getting the students who tested the year before, they will want to see that data too. Why? Because teachers during the previous school year will want to see how they did. Like, what can they do to improve their instruction? Where did they either miss the boat or they're like, I could have done a little bit better on this standard or this domain or this claim or whatever your students were testing in. They should have the right to see that data too. The other thing is that when you put the data in front of teachers and your state tests maybe third through eighth grade and one grade in high school, you want to put that data in front of all teachers. And I mean the physical education teacher, the language teacher, if they're teaching Spanish or another language, the art teacher, and in elementary school, the PK, the preschoolers, if you have them all the way through whatever grade you have, fifth, sixth, or seventh grade, or eighth grade if it's K-8. The reason why is because third grade teachers aren't testing third grade students only. They are testing all the knowledge they learned before. So you want to have a conversation with all teachers because the teacher in kindergarten or transitional kindergarten or preschool will want to see how their students scored by the time they got to third grade because they make that impact too. So you want to put that in front of those students. Now, in the state of California, we do test in science, English language arts, and mathematics. In Ohio, they test in math, science, social studies, and English language arts. Now, there are other tests that probably are available to students, like their advanced placement tests and things like that. But and that data you can definitely put in front of teachers as well. But I'm talking about the state assessment that impacts how the student or the school's report card will look at the beginning of the school year. And Illinois also tests English language arts, math, and science. They may test social studies. I'll have to go look that up. Now, if you're thinking, well, how can I find this data? Well, your district will have this data. If you have a student information system in the state of California, many school districts use the system called ARIES, and you can upload that data. You can go to the state assessment system, pull that data down, and upload it into the student information system. Talk to your student information coordinator, student information systems coordinator to help you with that. In California, you can also go to the California Educator Reporting System as a site leader and a district leader, typically the site leader if they give you access, and pull that data and put it in Excel, make it pretty and colorful. If you have questions about that, that is something I can certainly help you with, but that data is embargoed and I don't have access to your school district, but I certainly can talk you through it. That is what you really want to start with. Number two, you want to look at trends in the data. In Ohio, in Illinois, and in California, and the reason why I'm saying those three states because I lived in all three of them, there is something called the Smarter Balance Assessment Consortium. That means that this test is based on the state standards. And in California, we have state standards for mathematics that are organized by claims or domains. Same in ELA and same in science. So whatever those domains are, you will want to disaggregate the data looking at those domains. Now, you can also look at local indicator data. So common formative assessments, universal screeners, you want to put all that data in front of teachers. Now you're thinking, oh my gosh, the teachers are going to be so overwhelmed. Yes. Just like students when they first get new information, we call that productive struggle. Let them look at the data before you give them your opinion. And maybe don't even give them your opinion. You can guide them, but you want to look at this data and let them find trends in the data on their own first, and let them, and it should be a fun situation. It shouldn't be like, here's the data, it's stagnant, it's like this static piece of paper. Yes, you can put that in front of them, but it is very enlightening if you can teach them how to sort the data. Like if you are an arts teacher in high school and you sort it by all the students that you had in the previous year, and you want to see how that impacted them. For example, if you're a science teacher, you might want to see that. You will want to see that English language arts and math data, because it impacts how you're teaching, say, chemistry or physics or biological sciences. And English language arts, it says, oh my gosh, these students need some help with their writing skills and their speaking skills, and they're definitely their research skills. So that is why this data, we shouldn't be looking at it in isolation. You shouldn't say the fourth grade teachers are the ones who impacted just the fourth grade students. No, it is all the way from birth to fourth grade. Now, I know parents send their best students to you. We are the experts. I'm not saying they aren't, because some parents really can help their kids at home, but we need to get in front of it and have those conversations collectively and really looking at what is happening in our professional learning environment, because we know what this data is telling us. And if you don't know, having a conversation in a group is really, really profound. And number 3, you will want to come up with a problem of practice. What are the problems that are coming up based on the data? And I know sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to think about the problems. I just want to teach the students. Well, there's always a problem and there's always a solution that you can come up with. And sometimes what you want to do is list all of what problems you are finding in the trends in the data. For example, one of the problems might be we really have a struggle with literacy. I will say one of the problems of practice might be we really have trouble with getting kids to write not just narrative, but expository and in a research fashion. We really have trouble with kids speaking and listening and being able to give you an output based on the concept that was put in front of them based on the state test. Now, I know some of you are like, I don't really care about the state test. The state test doesn't tell me anything. And if you're a teacher and you're like, these state test scores are just going to be the death of me. If you're an educator in Illinois, Ohio, California, and any other state, well, I'm going to go with most states, you took something called the basic skills test. In Illinois, I took the Illinois basic skills test. It was called the Praxis at the time. I took it and I remember taking it. It was history, it was English language arts, there was a writing component, there was a arts component, there was a mathematics component and a science component. Like that's what it was. I also took a praxis test in Ohio because we also had to take the praxis test for science there. And then I took one in Illinois, in California, because my test was not digital then. And if I had my Illinois basic skills test, I wouldn't have had to take the California basic skills test because there was more tested on the Illinois basic skills test then. I don't know what it is now, but I took the California basic skills test as well. So we all are taking assessments all the time. And you know that because if you apply for a job in California and you aren't a credentialed teacher, but you're going for what we call a classified or support staff job, you might be taking an assessment. If you are going to college and you might have to take a prereq assessment, you know that you did that. So they're not going away. And there are some jobs that expect you to take an assessment. Even if you, let's say you want to be a translator or an interpreter, they might have you take that assessment for that language. So breathe. The assessments are there. The assessments are here to give us information to help us inform how we are teaching. It helps principals see what they can do to provide professional development for teachers. Be sure your teachers have input. And that information helps the new school year. The teachers say, okay, there are some knowledge gaps, some gaps in this learning that I need to help support these students that I got this year. It doesn't mean what the teachers did the year before did anything wrong. You get the best students every year. You get what you get. And no two students, 3, 4, 5, 6 students are going to be at the same place. We organize children by grades. That's just the way it is right now in the United States. But we have a profound impact on how students learn, and we can do that by starting with the data. So those 3 things, I hope that they can support you. Please make sure you subscribe, comment, and tell me if this is helpful. And let me know if you would like to know how to disaggregate your data in a simple way where you're like, I don't have a computer scientist to do this, and I'm not proficient in Excel. What can I do? And if you are curious in the state of California, how you can disaggregate the interim assessments or the state assessments from the California Educator Reporting System, go to this video. You can also Google it because the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress has their own YouTube video as well. And remember, if you are not sure how to find your state assessment data in your state, what you can do is just type your state Department of Education, like I put California Department of Education or Ohio Department of Education, release of student scores for the state assessment, something like that. And you will be able to find when the scores will be released. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and yes, comment. I really, really want to know as a site leader or a teacher, how you're using data to inform what you're doing in the classroom. And remember to turn on that bell and come back often. Thank you so much for watching.